All right, there we go. I screwed up. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sunday night. Welcome to All Things Fantasy Grounds. For those of you that were paying close attention, just at the last bit of the countdown there, I did add 15 seconds to it just to freak out Frost in the chat. So I don't know if he noticed it, but we added 15 seconds just to be funny. Anyway, yes, welcome to All Things Fantasy Grounds Talk Show. It is Sunday night. Before we get started, let me just say, as we always do, the disclaimer, which is that All Things Fantasy Grounds Talk Show is meant to teach and help, but the opinions stated by the four of us tonight on the show are not that of Smiteworks USA LLC or Fantasy Grounds. Happy Spooktober, everybody. Let me get to my three co-hosts for this evening, starting with Lady Shell. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Just ending up Spooktober, and it's been a fun weekend, which we will talk about a little bit later.
Excellent. And Mr. Leyroon, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm also winding down from Spooktober, trying to get people engaged. I actually taught two classes over the Spooktober event, and I also ran a little scrimmage one-shot kind of intro game for the Brazilian community.
Cheer bits in the stream. Thanks for the cheer
Oh, nice.
bits.
Lady Shell, oh, Jesus. 10,000 bits. Lady Shell will be the bit boss for the next 7 months.
Wow.
Or at least the week.
Yeah, I don't know why it says 275. Did that short you again? That happened to you before one time.
It probably hasn't reset yet.
Oh, it hasn't reset. Okay. Anyway, if it does, we'll fix it. Anyway, yes, hello to Fury Fate. How are you?
Ooh, I'm doing good, although I might have to cut out a little bit early. My husband's bringing home a fan, and I might need to help him.
Okay.
Fan?
Yeah, for our bedroom.
Gotcha. I use a fan to sleep at night. I don't have it blowing on me. I just had the white noise. All right. So we actually have a slideshow this evening. Oh, fancy, everybody. You know it. Watch this. Let me just show it. Let's go to View, Present. And then we've got some slides that I'm going to let Leyroon and Lady Shell talk mostly about the Spooktober event because it was an FGC event that was organized and put on by those guys. So go ahead. You guys can just sort of take it away and say what you want to say.
Do you want to go first, Lady Shell, or?
You go first, because most of my experience is in Sunday games because I had to work on Friday and Saturday, so I kind of missed a.
Okay. So kicking off the event, how this came about was we had to switch time and dates during the month because FGCon actually had to move their date out. So we were able to go back to October, which we really thought was what we wanted. And so we picked the date and got everything started. Lady Shell started advertising. Everything kind of started going into place. We requested DMs. I reached out to Doug and I asked him what he thought about giving us the car keys for the weekend, which actually means, to have the ultimate license turned on for the weekend. So once that was confirmed, we went ahead and started booking DMs and such. So Friday night started out with a bang. I think we had about 4 or 5 games going at least, and late Friday or early Saturday morning there was a couple games. Actually, Saturday seemed kind of mellow. There was a lot of games going on, but it really seemed like Friday was the main event. Whereas in other times we've done it, it's been like Saturday. I could be wrong, but it looked like everyone really had a good time from the feedback that I saw, and the excitement was definitely still there when people were coming and going. We probably gained about close to 100 people over this last month because of the event and because of the timing. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get a lot of players, and I really think that had to do coupling it with a holiday. So I think the lesson learned here is there will probably be events in the future, but not centered or tied to a specific holiday, especially when people are either going to be with their children doing things over the weekend or other countries may not observe Halloween. So I think this is a great idea. but mainly if you lived in the United States and Western Europe. I'm not sure if a lot of the other countries celebrate the same event. So that could be part of the reason why the player count was a little bit lower. But nonetheless, it turned out really well from what I can tell from Friday to Saturday. And Sunday looked pretty good too. Lady Shell, what did you see
Okay, Sunday. I need to go back into
today?
my. Yeah, that's today. Okay, what happened was now in California, which is where I live, we have our electric company, which is PG&E, and they're going around and turning off people's power because the lines, the electric lines, are kind of old and they can cause fires, which is what started the campfire last November, and they don't want that to happen again. So what they have done, they've done it a couple times now, is they shut off everybody's power, and some people were without power for several days. Anyway, my point is one of our DMs lives in an area where the power was shut off, and he was scheduled to run a game this afternoon, and his players were all like, oh, is his power coming back on? And we're like, no, I don't think so, because he's in an area where they're shutting off power for quite a while. So we had a DM step up and say, he did a mention to the people that were in that game, and he said, "Hey, if you can tell me about the game, maybe I can run that game for you." And I looked up on our events calendar and seen which game that the DM was running, and said it was the Haunt. And unfortunately, the DM that was offering to run the game, Challenger, he did not have that, but he said he could come up with something else. So I thought that was super nice to take over these people's, take over the other person's game slot so that these people did not have to go without a game. And they all seemed to like it. And earlier in the same day today, we also had another DM say, "Hey, anybody want to do a random Spooktober game?" And he ran a game too. So we had two people running games on the fly without scheduled. They got full class, well, a full table worth of people, and everybody just really had a really good time. The third thing that I wanted to mention was we have a teenager who is a uh, she's a she's a um, daughter of two of our professors, and she ran her very first Call of Cthulhu game, and I just think that was marvelous. She did a really good job, and everybody had a really wonderful time. Her name is S. Kissy, and her parents are both professors on FGC.
Oh yeah, I
So
know about SKC. Yeah.
that is my recap of what I saw on Sunday. Everybody was super happy with what came off, even though some people had to cancel games. Other people said, oh, I understand, and I'm really happy to be here, and so we had a lot of positive feedback, and I really want to put props out to all the DMs and the players that ran their games and played in games and had themselves a good time this weekend. And we'll be announcing we drew two winners, for one for a DM and one for player, and I'll be announcing that later whenever you tell me.
Okay. I actually want to thank Lady Shell actually for putting this together. It's a lot of work, a lot of stress, a lot of back and forth with different DMs and people in the community. Also, want to thank Smiteworks, Doug Davison for for sponsoring us. I want to thank Rob for putting on the show with us and putting up with my BS, and
There's a
also
lot of VS.
yeah, and also Furied Fate for making it, despite the fan action that's going to be happening soon. And I really think we got a good community despite any hiccups or issues we may have had in the past. I really think that we have a really good opportunity ahead of us with the beta right around the corner. We have a couple new rule books coming out. I think, what is it? The Eberron stuff coming up. We have um, I think we have Doug Davison coming up on one of our shows.
Yeah, Doug's
Tilt
going to be on show 100, which as of right now is going to be January 12th.
Nice. Tilt 5 actually dropped by after our show into the community, and they want to learn how to use Fantasy Grounds because they kind of want to have an idea of what the software does. So when they get together with Doug and company, they can figure out how to interface it together better. And also, we've got some other visitors like that. Uh, Vampire the Masquerade and also Traveler 2 will be out shortly within the next week or two. So we got a lot of good stuff going on in this community that I'm really proud of. And despite what any negativity that you may have experienced in the last 3 or 4 weeks, things have been actually pretty decent. This event kind of culminated together at the right time. It really turned out to be uh, better than I thought it would initially, because Thursday night it didn't look so great. But as the weekend progressed, it really turned out well. There was a lot of people who stepped up. The moderators did a great job making sure that rooms were set up. I really felt supported, and I want to thank everyone for that. So we're going to go
Very
through a
good.
couple. Yeah, we're going to go through a couple slides. So the community slide that we used for the weekend was basically just some screenshots that we captured throughout the weekend. We had some homebrew, some purchase module, and kind of a mixture of both. But Lady Shell, you want to comment on this one in particular? The one with the ocean. I believe that was Feathered Dragon's game. Are you there,
Did we
Lady Shell?
lose her?
Maybe.
Let me switch the screen here for a second and see if we. Whoops, hello.
Well, it says she's still here in the chat.
We can't hear you, Lady Shell, if you're still there. Let me look at this. Yeah, her thing is gray. It's not highlighted. Yeah, I think she dropped out. Did we lose you? I try to say loose, but it's lose. Anyway, Laren, you can. Oh, she's there. Yeah, we can't hear you, Lady Shell. So something's up with your sound. So go ahead, Laren.
Anyhow, yeah. So these screenshots were gathered from a community as they were playing their game. I don't think we did a very good job of giving people chance to think about that more. So I think in other events we're going to announce that more timely so that when people are running games, it's not last second. So we'll have a lot more screenshots, I think, in our next event. I really like these because it shows the different varieties of gameplay. And if you go to the next slide, you see we had a nice Starfinder sci-fi horror session. I believe this was DM Calchas's game. It looked really interesting, and some of the artwork was created by people in the community. I know the other was I think there's another slide coming up. Nope, that is a Spooktober D&D community screenshot. You can see we had a Spooktober theme, and some DMs use that. I believe that's the Drawgener's game.
That was the haunt.
That was the haunt. Yep. So let's go to the next one. So you want to tell us about this a little bit, Lady Shell?
That the drawing that was this is Aussie Hope's game, and he had that his 13-year-old daughter made some artwork for his game, and that's what those two screenshots.
That's pretty cool. So you even made a token of it. Nice. All right. So let's go to the next one. So this was Monkey Boy's game. This is his Deadlands game that he ran. This was basically Savage World, and I guess that top picture on the right, I guess this dog ate everybody. So it
Jesus.
did a Cujo on everybody.
Nice.
So that was the end result. There was a TPK, I believe.
Yeah.
Let's see Go
I
ahead.
had this was the Drake. Our game was Drake's game. We used this theme as well. That's what the middle of it looks like. The side had those pumpkins, and the dice tower was a cool looking pumpkin. And when you put your dice over it, the mouth changed and the color changed. It was freaky. And we during our game, because our game was late last night, and so the Sunday games hadn't been played yet, but people kept coming into the chat on my Twitch channel and saying, "Oh, we just got done with our Spooktober game, TPK," and everybody's game ended with everybody dead. It was funny.
All right. So now that we're at this page, we're going to announce the community prizes that we have drawn. We actually rolled some dice for these. So, Lady Shell, student prize winner.
Yeah, our student prize winner is Vincent Price. He is one of our teachers. He is on the Call of Cthulhu team. And our DM prize winner is DM Calchus. And he does 5e, he does Starfinder. In the Spooktober, he had a Starfinder game. And he gets the DM prize, which is equal to 2 books worth $40 each. Vincent Price wins a book worth $40. And I will be contacting both of you. If you are not in the chat, don't worry about it, because I will be contacting you via PM, and you can let me know your Fantasy Grounds account number and which book or books that you would like.
Perfect.
Very nice.
Congrats.
So each winner gets to pick a book or two, and or a standard license if they don't have it. I
Well,
think they do.
that was Vince Price has a standard license because he does DM games. So yeah, I'm sure he has an ultimate. Actually.
Very aptly named Vincent Price
Vincent Price, yeah, he was. People don't remember. Look him up. He was the old timey actor that really was. He really, his whole career was based around like scary movies and yeah, it's pretty funny.
All right,
okay.
Let's go to the next slide.
Next slide is.
Okay, so with this event that is passing us, we have one more game in progress right now, and maybe one other. I'm not positive, but we're pretty much at the very end of the the show and the actual event. So if there's any comments, questions, or ideas, you can PM Lady Shell and myself. You can ask in the chat right now. And I think Rob does a pretty good job advertising for us as well. So if you're out in the interwebs, you'll see tweets and Facebook posts and all kinds of stuff that have to do with events that are coming up. And being that Rob is part of the social media team, he gets a pretty good hands-on amount of information that's coming from the community and going out. So thanks, Rob, for helping us advertise.
Yeah, I try to always, especially for FGC, but I do it for everybody. But I keep a special light for FGC. Anybody that tweets anybody that tweets anything that they include the @FantasyGrounds2 Twitter handle. If it's appropriate, I usually try to retweet that with the Fantasy Grounds account, so we can get it out, because Fantasy Grounds has almost 13,000 followers. DM Stretch, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream.
Sweet. Jen also put our event in 3 of the newsletters in October, so I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
That's helpful.
She's good about that stuff, and it was really nice of Doug to, as you said, give us the keys to the car for everything. And I tried during all my shows for this last week. I told people, if you have a standard license, you will have a ultimate license for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and should get now's your chance to get your group together and try out Fantasy Grounds, see if you like it. And that
should be going till about 9 this evening.
Yeah, it should be going
for
our
time.
Another few hours, right?
Yep.
So yeah, guys, if you have questions, put them in the chat. We'll try to answer those. Meanwhile, I will also give away a prize to the viewers as we do. So I will bring us up the prize thing, and I will do a raffle, because that's how we do it. then we'll do a keyword raffle, and we'll make the keyword Spooktober since that's funny.
Yay.
So this will of course be a DM's Guild prize. Now before I run this, I want to mention things to people, and I'm gonna try to. I don't want to have to give a big long speech about this, but and don't start typing yet, guys, because I haven't hit the go button yet. So if you're typing Spooktober right now, it's not gonna work. You wait till I start it. But I would like everyone to think about entering this. Please do enter if you want to win something. But what I like to do is when the winners, when I send you a PM, and for you to pick your prize, I like you to do that, today. I don't want to wake up Monday morning and go, oh, I won a prize on Sunday, and could you please give it to me? Because I have a bad memory, and so. And it's not that I don't believe people or think that they're lying or anything, but it's just a lot easier for me if you enter the contest tonight, to please just get with me this evening before you go to bed or whatever, and make sure that I get you your prize, because I don't want to have to chase you down during the week or whatever. All right, so having said that, let me go ahead and start this. Now, if anybody before the sound of my voice has already typed Spooktober, you're gonna have to do it again. So just make sure you put your exclamation point, and you can look on the screen here to see if your name pops up on the left, and if you did, you're good to go. And we will draw a name, and then I will give you anything you want on the DM's Guild that has my name on it. So now's your chance to get something you've been having your eye on, or if you're new, then you can get a new thing, and it'll be fun for you.
No regifting.
Oh yeah, no regifting. Yeah, that's a whole thing too. So I've been doing this for many years now, and I've worked out all the kinks of. And you're gonna get like a form PM from me that that I copy and paste, because I've worked out all the kinks in doing this over the years. But anyway, so Spooktober, I would call a success. I thought that was very good. Now, do you guys have? I did not ask Laborin this before the show, but so I'm kind of putting him on the spot here. But he might just not have an answer. But is there a next scheduled event for FGC specifically?
Lady Shell and I were talking about that. We're both really burned out. Unless someone can
Yeah.
come up with something really good, I think we're gonna wait until next Founders Day. The
So
only
that'll be
other
in the
thing,
summer. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, the only other thing that we are considering doing is another Mapper's Delight. And if we do that, we're shooting for probably the end of January, beginning of February.
Okay.
So no themed adventures for like Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Nope, we learned our lesson.
No Thanksgiving
People are-
Turkey-alooza or
Purple
Christmas,
people.
Hanukkah, Kwanzaa games, nothing like that. Okay, fine.
No.
People are always welcome to sign up for post a game on our events calendar around holidays and make a holiday thing. It doesn't have to be an event to run a game. And also, can you fix that bit boss? It still says 275.
You know what?
At least for me.
So here's what I did. I actually have it on the other screen. Let me bring it over. I tried to fix it, and it wouldn't work. So I'll do it live with you guys. I'll show you what's up.
Thanks.
So I was in here while you guys were, and I went here and I put Lady Shell, and it has to be all small letters, and then I put that's your avatar, and I put 10,000, and then I said set current bit boss, and it just didn't do it. And I also tried to clear the boss, and it just never did it. So I don't know what the hell. Oh, but here's what I wasn't able to do. Let me go in here really quick. This is behind the scenes, everybody. If I refresh this, does that work? Boom! That's what I needed to do. So that's what I couldn't do when the slideshow was up. I couldn't open OBS.
Oh,
and for those that were watching the show, it did flash on the screen for 2 or 3 seconds, and then I saw it on my stream, and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want people to be distracted. But anyway, now we're all set, so you're good to go.
Cool.
So let's give away the prize. What happened to that?
Who won?
Okay, here we go, everybody. The winner is McDork. All right. I love that name.
All right.
So McDork, I believe you're on the Discord, but if you're not, I'm going to give you the link. And so all you do is just send me a PM. Yeah, yay. Send me a PM in a personal message in Discord, and then I will tell you what to do to claim your prize.
So is that Mick Dork or Mac Dork?
It's Mac
Is
Dork,
he a,
MAC, yeah.
is he a Mac user or I don't know.
Yeah, Mac. That's what you're a Mac guy, right? You're a Macintosh
Yep.
guy. Yep, man.
Yep.
That's what he
Yep.
said.
Yep.
All right. Well, you lose. You don't win. No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke. That's a joke. It's so funny. I have Apple Watch, I have iPhone, I have iPad, all the newest of every one of those. But I absolutely hate Apple and I don't have a Macintosh, but yet I own all three of these devices and I can't get away from them. Yeah. And also Steve Jobs got a liver, but he died anyway. Okay, that's my story.
Okay.
Okay. POSIX for the win. Calchas. I'm so polite. So, guys, if you have other questions in the chat about anything Fantasy Grounds, always is your chance. You have 4 people who are in and around Fantasy Grounds almost on a daily basis that you guys can ask questions, and we'll try to answer those. Also, if you have ideas for the show, and you can't think of them now, but you do at any time, bookmark this. Oh, that didn't work. Is it ideas? Yeah. Bookmark that URL right there. That's the idea informer for our show. There's also one for Fantasy Grounds, which has like 20,000 entries. But if you bookmark that, anytime you have an idea for our show, just let us know, and we'll Leroon and Fury and I all get emails when anybody puts anything on that idea informer. And then let me
Good
really
question.
quick. Oh, what's the question?
Do the FGC events ever run text-based games for accessibility? That has come up before. There is a person in our community that is mute. They cannot speak. So she runs a lot of her games via text.
Yeah, is that Rebecca?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say her name, but yeah.
I was gonna say her name because I've played in a couple games with her, and I feel comfortable saying her name, and she just she's not able to speak, so she just types in the Fantasy Grounds chat, and it works very well. And so to Berlugi's question, even if there isn't things set up specifically that way, all games can be that way. You can have games where people can talk if they're not able to speak, or if they're not able to hear, you can have it to where the players can type in the chat as well. So Fantasy Grounds is a great tool to use for people who are either hearing or speech impaired. It works very well. It just takes longer, but people are used to that, because we can all speak much faster than we can type, right? In some cases not. But yeah, you can totally use Fantasy Grounds for that, and you don't have to even set it up specially. You can just do it anytime during any game.
So I will talk to Rebecca, and 'twas thrilling if you know somebody, or if you yourself need that sort of engagement, we can probably arrange it. So I think that's a great question.
Lord Arctic Frost said, "I queued a question. Hate repeating it if it's not needed." I didn't see it. I must have missed it. How long ago was that, Frost? I don't see it. Just re-ask it if we missed it.
Spencer wants to know if they hired someone else to work and focus on Starfinder.
Yes. That has been
I'm not
done.
sure.
Yes, they have.
Okay.
That person is currently working on it, and there's no date, but it will be done. They are gonna get the ship combat done and all that, whatever the hell I don't play Starfinder, but the term I believe is the ship combat is what was missing, and it was 95% done, but the guy who was doing it got sick and disappeared, and so they couldn't finish it. And they also weren't able to. This was the reason that Doug went to all the developers and established what's called next of kin file. So we all had to give a family member or friend or somebody that knows us, so that if we disappear, they can contact them and see about getting the files, or if I get hit by a bus, they can call my friend and get my files or whatever. But yeah, so that kind of put a wrench into it for many, many months. But yes, it is going to be done, and it's in process now.
That brings up a good point. I've been working on my FGC contingency plan. So if in any case I'm not able to run the college, or I die, or get sick or something, I have a backup plan. So there will be someone running it, and they'll vote on a new leader and all that kind of stuff.
Cool.
And
Question:
it's not me.
It's damn sure not me. Question: will Steam be able to be updated once Unity is released publicly? I have a lot of content already, and I want to upgrade it when the time comes. So, Steam, I'm not sure what the process will be exactly. I assume it'll be the same, but I don't know that. But what I do know is that all DLC that anybody has on Steam or not will still work. So, I'm assuming what that means is that Steam will just get updated the same way the regular, the Fantasy Grounds website gets updated. So the whole idea, the reason it took so long, the reason it took years and years for this to come out, wasn't because it wasn't really developed. It was because they needed to make sure that's what worked. They needed to make sure that all 1,300 DLCs and growing, and like 10 a week come out now. So they were putting out new DLC for Steam and for the website, and then also making sure it all worked, so that when they go live, there's no none of this works now. They want to make sure it all worked. That was the big time suck for that.
Didn't we have an update on Unity that we read earlier?
Yes, we do. So for those of you that backed the Kickstarter, you will be getting an email with a link to go to the beta test sometime tomorrow night or early Tuesday morning. That's everybody. So if you're one of the 8,500 people who backed the beta, or who backed it, and you want to beta test it, that's going to be within 24 to 36 hours. You'll be getting the link. We found out about that today. So that's good. And I was an alpha tester. Of course, we were neither allowed to say anything or stream anything or even talk about it. And beta testers, of course, I don't think will be forbidden from talking about it, but you will not be able to stream it, and you will not be able to do anything except test it. And if they catch you streaming it, God help you. I don't know what happens, but I don't want to be the one that gets caught. But beta testing should definitely be all of November and most of December, and the plan is to release it at the end of the year. So we'll see if they are able to do that. So far, they've met every benchmark they said they were going to meet, so that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
All right, are we missing anything? Let's see. Yes, the new areas.
Did you do the prize already?
Yeah,
I did. Yeah. FG is awesome. I have Fantasy Grounds bug. I spent hours just looking at it. Yeah, I get it. Starfinder's really taking the simple FG. Very excited. I love druids. Let's see.
Do they have guidelines for feedback?
They're
no.
they're going to address that. They don't. There will be. So what we had with the alpha test, and there's only like 10 of us.
Yeah.
We had a special, like if you go to Fantasy Grounds forums, we had a special thread that showed up where you could type stuff, and I think somebody made a special Discord server for us too, but nobody really. I mean, it was kind of, with 10 people, it's kind of hard because we couldn't connect, we couldn't play games with each other. All we could do was load it up and like look at the map thing and look at the token thing. You couldn't really do much with it. But once they open the beta test, we'll be able to connect and play games and do all that kind of stuff. If you get caught streaming Unity, you get to game with Geo. That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Do the prize again. Rob Tui, do they have guidelines for feedback? Yeah, they will have guidelines.
Cool.
That'll be an awesome Christmas present to myself. Yes. Doug just posted the Unity beta emails will start coming out tomorrow evening. Right. So tomorrow evening and into Tuesday morning, I imagine. There's 8,500, so I imagine they have to stagger the emails or whatever. All right. I think no more questions. Good.
I did have one more small announcement. It's related to Fantasy Grounds and the community. Matakure and myself have been working on a new DM series. We're going to be releasing those on Facebook, or excuse me, not Facebook, but on our YouTube channel. They are taking away the premieres from Twitch, so you'll no longer be able to schedule videos to broadcast. So we're going to take all those and move those to the Fantasy Grounds College YouTube channel, and each video is between 10 minutes to about an hour, and there'll be probably close to about 20 or so of them. Not sure how far along we are, but they will definitely be helpful. They'll be more up to date, and Matacure is the one that's taking those videos and uploading them. So, or he's giving them to me to upload. So, Lady Shell and I will be working on putting those up starting next week. We have to organize them, relabel them, that sort of thing. But once we're done, those will go up and they'll have titles and links and those sort of things. So,
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, here you can see the notice. I can't even imagine what their reason is. They don't tell you the reason, but it just says November 12th. You can't do premieres on Twitch anymore. So I can't imagine why that is. They don't really explain it, and I haven't seen anybody come up with a good explanation. But there's obviously some reason. But yeah, they're not doing it anymore. So
next they'll get rid of reruns.
Yeah, right.
Right now they're fine,
yeah,
but
they keep, and it's funny if you're a broadcaster, like if you're a streamer like I am, you can go to, like here, if I go to my dashboard, there's always there might not be any today, but there's always here it is, update incoming, be one of the first. Oh yeah, the completely redesigned dashboard. See, this is stupid too. Look at this. It's just dumb.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
I hate it, and you can't. There's no, like in the old one, you got menu items on the side, or you have to click. Oh god, it's just really, and it's like YouTube. YouTube's the same way. If you go to try to upload I'm doing this every day, right? I'm uploading videos like 4 times a week, 5 times a week, and there's this ridiculous whatever the fuck this is, and I always go down here and I go to classic, and I sometimes when I'm in the mood I say, yeah, other, and then I go, you know what?
He already has it pre-typed
YouTube
out.
Sucks. This beta is crap. Please never do it. And then I send it in. You know what? Submit. And then it takes me to the classic. And the classic, as soon as it does it, the classic interface, just to me, is way easier to understand. It's a lot more intuitive over here, and plus I'm old and I fear change. So there you go. I don't like it. And but yeah, all these these giant Google, Twitch, Amazon. So Google owns YouTube, Amazon owns Twitch, and it's just it's giant corporations with 20-year-olds sitting in the boardroom go, you know what we should do? We should make tweaks that only we understand because we're teenagers. I don't know what their reasons are.
So the next show we're covering the FG Con.
Yep. And
so if you guys
I think it starts on the Friday after.
Yep.
So here and
we'll a couple weeks from now, FG
right.
Con.
And I'm playing in a game in FG Con.
Cool.
So
if you guys want more of the games like we had this weekend, go to FGCon.
And during that weekend, they will also, so that's November 8th through the 10th, they will also be opening up the licenses for that weekend.
Yep.
So even if you participate or not, you will still be able to turn your standard license into an ultimate for the weekend. Grab all your friends, grab 8 friends, tell them to download the demo, and everybody play a game and have fun. That's how you do it. But we'll talk more about that in depth next week. So any final questions from the chat? Just put them in the... Yeah, damn whippersnappers. You're right, Journeyman.
Whippersnappers.
Otherwise, we'll end the show. Why would Amazon be pushing customers to Microsoft? Or not? I don't know what you mean, Darthvex. Get off my lawn. Excuse me, I need to strap on my shorts, my black socks, and my sandals, and then get my hose and stand in my front yard. Yeah.
What are those male garters that they used to wear to keep their socks up?
I think they're sock holders. Yeah, exactly. And
a wadded up newspaper.
Stop speeding through my neighborhood. I was going 40 down my street the other day. It's a 25. I was like, whoa. What am I?
Ooh.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it. All right. Any final words from any of the three people here with me? You guys want to say anything before we end the show? All right. That's that's a big vote of silence.
Spencer wants to know if we get the beta, do players have access to the beta also? I don't think so. I think it's beta to beta.
No, it's beta to beta. I don't believe you'll be able to connect to a beta player unless you also have a license. So it's just going to be among the beta players, as far as I know. They may at one point make it, as soon as they get a lot of results from the testing, maybe after like a month or something, they may open it up, but I'm not sure about that. I don't know the answer to that one. Sorry about
FGU beta, who gets the beta? The people that paid for it in the Kickstarter.
Right. So if you backed the Kickstarter, you're in the beta testing group. If you didn't back the Kickstarter, you're not. That's as simple as that. But whether you back the Kickstarter or not, you will either be getting a copy in December or you could buy a copy in December. And if you already own Fantasy Grounds, you get a discount, and there's a whole discount structure. If you it doesn't, it's sort of counterintuitive, but the way they explain it makes sense, but the way it goes is the less time you have had Fantasy Grounds, the cheaper it is to get it. The longer you've had Fantasy Grounds, the more expensive it is for you. So I know that doesn't make sense, but it does. You just have to trust me. Does it slide, load, or create a new folder? Thus, my content is downloaded twice. Do I need another hard drive? I believe yes. You will host the software. There are two different versions of the software. So yes, you will need to install it and put it somewhere else, but you can copy or move your DLC over to the one. You don't have to have two copies of that. And so they'll explain everything. You just make sure you back up everything. But they'll answer all those questions when they put it out. They'll explain what you have to do. But as far as I understand, like the way it is for me now is I have Fantasy Grounds installed, and then over here I have Fantasy Grounds Unity installed. And if I want to use any of my modules or whatever, I have to copy them and put them in the other one. So yeah, it's two separate things.
And a lot of people are under the conception that you have to wait or it's going to be a big change. It really is. You're getting the connectivity is going to be dealt with. It'll be easier. You're going to get more memory, so you can use higher resolution graphics, and you're getting the in-game tool to make maps. Everything else should be the same,
Right.
at least while the first wave is happening.
There's a lot of in program tweaks like the dice rolling and the map making and the token and image usage and some things like that. But the basic program stays the same. But the biggest thing are the things that Leroon mentioned, which is the connectivity issues. No more port forwarding. No more none of that stuff. There'll be a lobby. You can connect to people. It's a more modern version of how games are run these days that have multiple players. And then the memory will be better, and you won't have to worry about your maps and all this other problems that people have all the time. It'll all be gone.
John wants to know how FGC is going to handle two different programs. We're not. To be honest, we're going to stay with Classic. There's really no reason to teach FGU at this time. When it does come out, the only thing we have to change is how the map tools work. Everything else we teach is the same, whether we use Classic or we use the standard.
But
So
we'll need people to have they'll have to have Unity, obviously, because they're going to have a different law.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the teachers need to learn Unity before they can teach it. Yeah, so we have that too. So I'm not too worried about it. It's all the same. So if you learn 90% of it with class, the only 10% you're going to have to learn, or 20%, is going to be the map tools.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing to learn is the mapping, because I still don't have it. That's why I need Dave to give me my class, because I can, yeah, it's just, and I've watched Doug do it on video. He's done stuff for us during the meetings. I still don't. But I don't want to scare people off. It's not that hard. It's just that I haven't had the time to, even 10 minutes of my life to focus on how to do it. So I'm just basically I'm being lazy and I'm waiting until Dave's going to show me. That's how I'm doing my.
Right.
Darth Vex says once everything's working and launched, have they talked about features that they might be working on for the future, Unity lighting, etc. Yeah, so they have talked about it. A lot of stuff comes in the meetings that I'm in. I can't cite any examples for you, but someone will mention something, and the answer is always the same. Yes, we've thought of that. Yes, it's being talked about. Yes, it's on the list, but it is not a priority because we got to do this, and this. So there's going to be a, but once this comes out, it'll be their opportunity to then focus on, some major other cool things. Dynamic lighting was one thing we didn't mention. That's of course part of it, and the occluders on the maps, like Doug. So what, for people that don't know, you have to take a map, and you have to open the map, and then you have to draw on the map all the places, like every line on every wall and every door and every secret door and every thing that you can see through or not, so that the dynamic lighting knows what to look through and what to not look through. And it's a shitload of work, and their goal is to go back and do every single thing they've ever made since the beginning, starting with the most recent stuff. So like all the Dungeon of the Mad Mage and whatever the most recent, the Acquisition Incorporated, whatever's and work backwards. And they've done a lot of it already. Yeah.
So all the official stuff eventually will have maps already drawn on it. Anything that you've made or third-party stuff, you're probably going to have to do it yourself.
Right, and they are also going to ask the community's help. So if people want to volunteer to go in and map something, because they're separate files, so you don't, they set it up so that you don't have to have access to the actual file. You can open like your module, you say map it out, and then it saves the coordinates and the mapping information into like a separate XML file. So you can just send that to SmiteWorks and they'll include it in the module, and none of the security opening modules, none of that has to be done. It's all just in a separate file. So it's pretty cool the way they did it.
Yep.
Map tools, that's what I need. Let's see, anybody, sorry I got confused.
Yep. Hey, Marbanya.
What's up, Marbanya? I hope all those map makers on DMs get to good work to the crap that I can buy.
Yeah, that'll be up to them.
It'll be pretty exciting. Like I said, I've seen some of this stuff, and it's all I can say is it's cool, because I'm not really allowed to talk about it. But that me not being able to talk about it all ends in like less than 2 days. I can talk about it, but everybody will be able to see it then. Okay, well, butt mold. Anything else?
Okay.
Anybody else?
No, not really.
Somebody cheer 1? Are you serious? Just so the lady show wouldn't be at 10,000. She's at
That
9.
was
Yeah.
Drake.
Yeah.
Pop out. What's up, Drake? Pop out.
Pop out.
So yeah, people that don't know what pop out is, on the Saturday night game, we use VC for the cameras, and I have to call everybody who's on the list, and then I have to individually pop out their windows so that I can put them in the OBS. And so while those guys are all sitting there listening to me set it up, all they hear is me going, pop out. Pop out. So it's become one of my phrases. It's another Rob Tooeyism on my channel. Stand by. Rob Tooey, are you excited to talk about Unity when it comes out? I am. I'm most excited to stream it. And believe me, I ask them about every 15 minutes. Can I stream it yet? And they're like, no, Rob, shut up. You can't stream it. They don't say that to me. That's what I hear. My nerda. Meow meow. Yeah. You guys gotta watch the Saturday night game. It's hilarious. Arbania plays a tabaxi, and so he talks like Henrietta Pussycat, or at least that's what we hear when he talks.
Sometimes on the Fantasy Grounds Fridays shows, towards the end, Digital Dave will show us a little piece of Unity. So if you watch the Fantasy Grounds Fridays at noon Eastern time, you will sometimes, not always, but you'll sometimes get updates about Unity or some features.
Oh,
So
yeah,
if you don't have anything, that's a good place to look.
Yeah, he's authorized to show that stuff a bit. And the reason they're not trying to be secretive or anything, the reason that they don't want us streaming it is really for just one reason, which is it's an alpha test. So it doesn't, it's going to crash. It's going to do something wrong. It's going to be a mistake. It's going to, do something. And they, smartly, Smiteworks would really rather not have video on the internet of this thing not working, because people, when they watch a video on YouTube, they don't take into context. All they're going to see is Fantasy Grounds doesn't work, and they're not going to stop to listen to the presenter who might be saying, this is an alpha test, so don't expect it to be perfect or whatever. So they just didn't want to deal with that, which I think is really smart, even though it's disappointing to me personally. But I've only had to wait a couple months now, because we got it in August and now it's October, and so in a couple days we'll be able to test it really good, and then maybe in a month or so they'll let us stream it. Who knows?
Yeah, I would really rather not have a FG Unity doesn't work.com.
Yeah,
that would really
right.
suck.
Remember they used to have a website called Fucked Company? Do they still have that?
I don't know.
There used to be a website called fuckedcompany.com. We'll look and see if they still have it. Whoops. FGCon Fucked Company. No, that's not right. Some of you may know about this. I think it was in the early 2000s. Oh, it's still there. It's still there.
Is it?
So...
Fuck Company is fucked.
Oh, if you're seeing... RIP. So it was 2000 to 2007. If you're seeing this for the first time, ask someone who was in the internet business during round 1 to tell you about it. Yeah, I'm one of those people. So what this was, I can't believe it's still just there. It's just an empty thing now. But this used to be a website where you could go to it, and it was just complaints about companies. Like Walmart.
Man, I wish it was still there.
Walmart sucks because I went there and they charged me this, and then they told me, and then they kicked me in the balls, and so I went to the parking lot and I shat blood. Like, there was just like all this, but it was all real. It was all vetted stories. It wasn't just people trolling. And wow. Somebody powerful shut them down. So.
Wow.
Oh, they want you to stay in touch, huh?
Can you please send me the archives?
Yeah, send me the archives.com. But you can also, for those, you guys know about Wayback Machine, right? Wayback Machine. So Wayback Machine is an archive of the entire internet. It's not really, what the hell is it called? It's not really that good, but it does have a lot of internet archive. Yeah, it's called archive.org. So it's legit, archive.org. But you can go here, like here, I'll type in my comedy site in Los Angeles, which is long gone, but you can still see part of it. Yeah, so you can go get snapshots from 1999 all the way to, when did it shut off? 2007 maybe? I don't know, but there's still snapshots. This can't be right. Unless somebody bought the URL. This Fantasy Grounds.
No, I was just disconnected forever.
Oh, jeez. Did you get your fan yet?
No, he hasn't come home yet. I'm like, what the hell? I thought he'd be home.
What
we
the
thought
hell?
you
This thing
left
isn't
to
okay.
fix your fan. That's what we thought.
Mm-hmm.
So here, I'll go to one that.
I'm not a fan of broken.
This account has been disabled. Well, yeah, fucker. I shut the. Okay, maybe go back a little earlier. I forget when we shut it down. It seems like it might be legit. So I had this website called HeyLady.com. Everyone thought it was porn. Hey Lady. Yeah, Comedy Squared is what we. So yeah, it was legit. It had open mics and email Rob. Mail to Rob at HeyLady.com. Yeah, so I mean, I had a website back in the day that was a pretty. I mean, but that's why if you go to the Wayback Machine, a lot of the links don't work right. But we had a whole. We had a whole thing that was set up for comedians and had open mics on it, and we had a newsletter, a physical paper newsletter back in the day that we used to distribute in LA and all this other shit. That's part of the book I wrote on Amazon. I have a book on Amazon, but anyway, I don't remember what the hell I was talking. But anyway, yeah, so you can, the internet has stuff. Once you put something on the internet, somebody can find it. Just trust me. Don't put any dick pics on there. You can't get rid of them. You guys want to see my dick pic? Just kidding. That's a joke. All right, as usual, this show devolved into nothing about Fantasy Grounds.
All right. So I think we're about done. Anything else? I don't see much else.
No, I think Marbania's telling me about my HeyLady.com. It was the '90s, dude. It was a happening.
Pull
website.
that plug. You said pull the plug. Gong show.
All right, so we are going to pull the plug. Let me put the slides up for people.
It's evolved into Rob dick pics.
Yeah. So join us on the channel always, everybody. We've got shows here Friday through Monday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday twice, and Monday. Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, nothing. Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday. It sounded like it goes in that order, but it doesn't. And thanks again to the three of my fellow presenters tonight, and thanks to Leroon and Lady Shell especially for running the Spooktober event for everybody, and for Lady Shell donating $17 million to the channel and being BitBoss for 14 years. I tend to use hyperbole, everybody. Also, don't want to see Rob's dick pic, meow meow. Also, congrats to the prize winner. I'm sure that you're one of these 9 PMs I have in Discord, so I'll go check that right after the show. And we love you. We're approaching 100 episodes, so I hope you guys will all stick with us and come back and see us on Sunday nights. As you know, my motto to the general public is don't
Cheer
fuck
bits. Cheer bits in the stream. Thanks for the cheer bits.
Thank you, Drake. And until next time, good gaming, everyone.